With its unique mining history, Spania Dolina pertains to the jewels of Banská Bystrica region. This picturesque village is situated 11 kilometers north of Banská Bystrica city, on the border of Nízké Tatry and Veľká Fatra mountains, 728 meters above the sea level. The earliest written reference to the village dates back to 1263, when it was mentioned as Montana. It was also known under names of Gerweb, Herregrund and Vallis Dominorum. Regardless of the above-mentioned historical reference, we know for sure that the area was populated as early as in Neolithic. Ancient documents also mention people called Aušusníci. The historians believe that they might have been mining militiamen who served at the mining masses. This type of mass is still served at Spania Dolina, and it is registered in the list of intangible cultural heritage of Slovak Republic as the Mass of Aušusníci. With its position, Spania Dolina is naturally predetermined to be a tourist center. It is populated by approximately 190 permanent and 200 temporary inhabitants, who utilize it mostly for relax and recreation. The village is situated in the Staré hory mountain range in the valley of Banský potok, under the northwest foothills of Panský diel, which is 1,101 meters above the sea level. The territory of contemporary Spania Dolina was inhabited as early as in Neolithic and the Late Bronze Age. The first proofs of the prehistoric copper mining, which started approximately at 2030 to 2000 years BC, date back to this period. The copper ore deposits, which contained silver as well, made the village famous all around Europe. The first mines in the region opened as early as in 1006. During the reign of Béla IV, the area of Staré hory was rich in copper ore. However, the mining declined gradually. Therefore, in 1251, new, more abundant copper ore mines were opened. Along with gold and silver, in the 14th century, copper became an attractive commodity in the European and the Oriental trade. Especially the merchants of Venice used it to pay for the imported spice and cotton. Spania Dolina saw the period of its greatest flourishing between 1494 and 1546, when the whole mining area was acquired by the Thurzó-Fogger Company, which established the copper factory of Banská Bystrica, an enterprise unique for its time. The company was led by János Thurzó and Jakob Fugger of Augsburg. They also opened the first underground shafts and introduced some progressive methods not only in mining and metallurgy, but in trade as well. They enhanced the international copper trade, which was exported into all important trading hubs of Europe at the time. In the mountains, a unique mining water pipe system was built in order to bring water to power the mining ore grinding and processing machines. Approximately 36 kilometers worth of collecting, riving and connecting pipes brought the water from as far as Prašiva in Nízké Tatry to the Spania Dolina shafts. Every year, tourists walk the trail following the mining water lines, which starts at Donovali, and they enjoy the beautiful nature of Staré hory mountains. The ore deposits were growing shorter, and the underground mining made the expenses increase further and further. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the profitability of mining kept decreasing, until it became completely unprofitable. At the end of the 19th century, the Chamber of Mines stopped the ore extraction in Spania Dolina altogether, and they shut down all the mines and metalworks. The village surroundings are rich in cycle routes that will satisfy even the most demanding cyclists. Most of them lead through the forests, and some of them offer the view of the beautiful village skyline and the surrounding nature. summer, reunion of the countrymen takes place at the Pieski, though these days there are only a few of them left. Only one house stands now from what was once a whole village. The countrymen gather at the Mass in the local chapel. Throughout the year, the ancient method of copper melting is demonstrated at Ludovika-Schaft. Visitors can see at first hand how the noble metal used to be melted down in the past. Throughout the year, Spania Dolina organizes numerous events not only for its inhabitants. Every year, several teams compete in the cooking of the local delicacy called šķērcs. Visitors at this event can try this traditional meal. The visitors will also enjoy the wide selection of attractions such as a toy shop or popular brain teasers. The football pitch at the Ludovika-Schaft usually livens up during the football tournaments in the beautiful nature. It is an entertaining experience not only for the football players, but also for the sports fans that enjoy unforgettable moments and spending time with their friends, as well as the tasty kete goulash. Afterwards, people go to the square. After the dusk, it is the starting point of the traditional walk of the mine elves with the lanterns and torches over the Maximilian Mound. At the end of the day, the so-called pumpkin party awaits everybody. It takes place at the Klopačka every year. Spania Dolina is famous for its mining educational trail. You can start your way at the square with the mining astrological clock, then continue to the first point at Klopačka and to the daily adit. The sound of the mining knocker itself gives a vivid picture of what was once a common sound feature of the valley. The hard-working miners of Spania Dolina were watched over by Saint Clement, their patron saint and protector. The astronomical clock was sanctified and ceremonially revealed in 2004. During your walk, you can make a stop right at Klopačka. Despite all the efforts, by the end of the 17th century, only as few as 800 miners worked in Spania Dolina. Until then, the wives and children of the miners had worked in the ore sorting. Later on, though, they started to make extra money by bobbin lacing. Thus, they established the tradition of the bobbin lace of Spania Dolina. In 1883, there was even a school established because of the lace. The miners' watchtower called Klopačka was the residence of a mine inspector. It also included the rooms of the mine guard and the room where the mine maps were made. In the turrets, there was a beating mechanism that was used for summoning the miners into the shafts. Klopačka started working to this end around 1910. In 1998, the whole building was renovated and it became an important element to the tourism development in the village. In the building there is a restaurant, a guest house accommodation facility, and at the first floor there is a small museum exhibition. The above-mentioned daily adit is the first stop of the educational trail and ranks among the oldest architectural pieces in Spania Dolina. It used to be one of the entrance adits of the mining region. In the morning, the miners would pray in front of it, and then they would go down the shafts. The second stop is the miner's house from the 18th century, standing on a high underpinning. Along with the reinforced corner columns, it was used to balance out the steep slope. In the past, people used to come inside through the back porch and through the front yard. The trail then goes by the Four Lindens to the Vitals adit. It was made in a highly positioned ore deposit called Kukel. It was one of the so-called hereditary adits that were used for draining and ventilation. It was connected with the rest of the deposit via transportation. In the 18th century, it was 740 meters long. The mining scenery of Spania Dolina is perfected by the so far unforested mounds that have persisted around the village till these days. The village wants to preserve them as a technical monument, along with the well-preserved shafts and the adits, accessible to the guided groups of tourists. The Maximilian Mound, situated directly over Spania Dolina, is one of the typical features of the village. Through the Maximilian Mound, the trail continues towards the Maximilian Shafts, which is the second to oldest shaft in Spania Dolina, with a depth of as much as 320 meters. The way to the next stop leads next to the Turecka Bashta Tower, which was built in 1644. Originally, the ground floor served as the storeroom for the weapons of war and ammunition, and later on it was used to store miscellaneous mining stuff. The village is dominated by the premises of the Church of the Transfiguration, consecrated in 1254. In 1593, the building was rebuilt and enlarged from the older Romanesque to the Gothic style, and later it was refined to the contemporary shape. The church is situated on a natural hill above the square, to which it is connected by a covered wooden staircase with a shingle roof and 162 steps. Inside the church, a pipe organ made by the master Podkonicki, an organ maker from Banska Bystrica, from the 18th century has been preserved. Another important monument is a late Renaissance painting of Saint Clement, the patron saint of miners, dating back to the end of the 16th century. The background of the painting is remarkable for depicting Spania Dolina with its monumental mounds. On the church premises there is the building of the former vicarage, originally a Renaissance building from the mid-17th century. You can finish your walk on the football pitch. That's where the entrance into the Ludovica shaft is situated. Above it, there used to be a water wheel 12 meters in diameter, which enabled the miners to go down the shaft. In the future, the village is planning on opening the shaft to the public and to build a chain of lifts available to the tourists. The development of Spania Dolina is managed not only by its authorities, but also by several non-profit organizations. Since 2003, the civic association Miners Brotherhood Herrengrund, Spania Dolina has embraced the mission to restore and develop the several hundred years old traditions of mining customs, as well as collecting and restoring the monuments of mining activities in the region. Bana Sporting Club focuses on organizing sports events in the village. They take care of the local tennis court, the beach volleyball and the indoor volleyball courts. In Spania Dolina, there is also the Diocesan Youth Center Mayak, which works as a leisure center that provides educational, informational and relaxation activities. Several other non-profit organizations work in the village, among them OZ Perman or the Slovak hiking club Baník. Kids of Spania Dolina await St. Nicholas' arrival in a very active way. They take part in creative workshops. At these events, they witness the making of traditional paper creches, Christmas wafers baking, gingerbread decorating, and the making of Christmas decorations and handmade gifts. In Spania Dolina, there is no ski slope. However, nearby the village, there is an extensive Šachtičky ski center, eager to welcome each skier. Šachtičky ski center is situated only a few kilometers from Spania Dolina. The center in the middle of picturesque nature provides great conditions for ski professionals, beginners, and the little fans of this popular winter sport alike. The ski center also provides a ski repair shop and a ski rental service. This area of entertainment and relax is popular also among the fans of bobsled riding. Heaps of snow, beautiful wide mountains and the peaks have a relaxing effect. Šachtička Mountain Hotel, which is situated right next to the slopes, offers comfortable accommodation and wellness services to the guests, as well as rooms for conferences and parties. The atmosphere of this beautiful place makes for an unforgettable experience that makes the guests come back again. Spring is knocking on the door of all the minds again. The beautiful nature of Spania Dolina is awakening from winter sleep to await the newcomers to the village. There are numerous accommodation facilities in Spania Dolina, so come try living in the old-time folk cottages and experience what the life was like in the past centuries, at least for a few days. We'll be glad to welcome you.